That's exactly what I was talking about. Friday, another move down. Just massive, huge daily candles closing at support. I thought it might not close below support, and it doesn't really matter. Look at that. That's ugly. I mean, okay, Nasdaq, two huge drops. We're at support, 3.5, whatever you want to call it, 3.54, 3.55. As soon as we close below 3.50, I mean, just to make sure we really close below all these little tails and underneath a nice psychological number, a small psychological number. That's it. We just go straight back down to the next support. I haven't even looked at these lines. I mean, yeah, this pretty much is it. 335-ish. That'll take another week, maybe. But I think it's on. There was a little hesitation. Is it really the drop? Should we try, and make another move higher? This whole thing's ridiculous. Here we have a left shoulder, the head, right shoulder, a bit deformed, let's be honest. A little bit of a bounce, double right shoulder. It doesn't matter, lower highs, huge drops. Like when it goes to test its lows again, it happens quicker on bigger volume and in a shorter time period and close at low of day. And the fundamentals, the geopolitics, all the sectors, the banks, interest rates, everything aligns. So what happens? Just more downside. We're back into the bearish trend. Technically, also this upside was broken a while ago. Let's look at the S&P. Same thing. This is exactly what I said. We'd go lower. We wouldn't probably close below the low here. It's exactly as I said, to be honest, on the Thursday video, because was it Thursday or Wednesday? But look at that, close at low of day. And I didn't expect to close below because it would take quite a lot. But I mean, good effort, right? So a little bit of a lower move on Monday. S&P, I think the equivalent of closing below that four was it 450 on the Nasdaq would be 420. So as soon as you close below 420 on the S&P, then yeah, I think it'd be the same. Sorry, 350. So 350 on the Nasdaq on the QQQ, and then the same close below 420, which is a lot easier, a lot quicker for the S&P. And then down we go to the next level. Is it here? Yeah, probably. There might be a bit of a pit stop, but that's about the same percentage move, I would say. So just lower, no need to overanalyze. Dow Jones closed at low of day. Didn't close as low, respective to the others in terms of testing its October lows here, but I mean the early October lows. But yeah, on Monday, down we go down here. And then the Dow Jones, next level after this, not as obvious. Maybe this area, I can understand why. Otherwise, this, yeah, okay, put both lines just to be sure. But all the ascending lines are broken, so it's strictly horizontals. And again, that's another massive percentage move down. I mean, how much once we start to close below here to the next level? 2, 3, 4, 5, 4% move. It's probably the same, let's be honest, on the others. Then the S&P moving down 3, 4, yeah, a 4% move, no problem. Let's get to the Russell though. This is the queen over here. Close below, like way below the support from here. Not way below, but visibly below. Already on that Thursday, I mean, it was closing at lows. I've always said that the whole move, the Russell is the weakest on the way down, and it wasn't even the strongest on the way up, which it should be. That's how you know there's something fundamentally wrong. This is small business America. Also tied in with the banks. I'll take a look at the banks in a second. So these are the bear market lows. This is the bear market low, and I think we'll get there next week. Just as the S&P and the Nasdaq start to close below their support, and 2%, that's easy. That's really easy. That's a Monday achievable easy. So, and what happens after that? Well, we have the next levels, and we'll probably start testing there. As soon as the S&P and the Nasdaq start testing their next level low of 4%, well, yeah, the Russell could do it. I mean, the Russell could do this. Maybe there's a gap filled there, just from here. Doesn't matter. As soon as we close below the bear market lows, trust me, a lot of people will take notice of that, and it's going to happen next week. There you go. It's going to happen next week. Nothing else to say. Let's look at the banks. You can see, look at this similar stuff, right? Also, the early October lows here breached below, a bit like the Russell. Not as bad because the equivalent would be being all the way down here or something, but underperforming the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, and these are the banks. This is the XLF. These are the senior banks, right? The unsinkable JP Morgan's, Goldman Sachs. No, they're sinkable. They have a hole in them, trust me. This here closed below the early October lows. Where do we go next? Here, pretty much. I mean, you can see why these two tails here also. Yes, we could have a pit stop on the way around here. Doesn't really matter. How much of a percentage move is that? Doesn't even matter if it happens next week or the week after. If the direction is down, 3% is easy. That's 1 or 2 days, maybe even one. KBE, even worse. Close at low of day. It's beautiful. Close at low of day. Close below that mini support of early October. Where do we go next? Maybe big round numbers 34, then a little bounce, then back down, then all important 32. I think 32 is really important actually. And then of course this 31. As soon as you close below 30.8, I mean it's absolutely done. KBE and the KRE even weaker. Also close below early October lows. Where do we go? There's also this equivalent here, this mini zone before the absolute, but it doesn't matter. It's futile stuff. You know, you'll get there, you'll bounce. Maybe there'll be a general bounce for 1 or 2 days and then back down. And then what? Then we go to the March 2020 lows for sure. And then what do you think all this beautiful S&P is? Where do you think this is going to be? It's going to be down here, you know? It's going to be flushing 400. Then all the computers go crazy and everyone starts to turn bearish on CNBC. And it's, you know, as we were going all the way up here, I thought, my God, new highs. And even I thought, my God, I can't believe it. You know, I was just couldn't believe it. Plus, you had the DAX, by the way, and all them. They were actually making new highs. The DAX, the FTSE. And by the way, look at them. Look at that close low of day, just absolute vomiting. Next stop, probably here, the low of this tail. That's the DAX, by the way. Germany's in a recession. FTSE, remember their interest rates are all making new highs also. Where do we go now? Just look at that close at low of day. Go all the way down here. No need to explain that. That's very visible. The CAC, even worse. I mean, what is that? That's already tested this, what is that, March? That March low, like the DAX here. Look at that. DAX hasn't done that. So the CAC, the French market is really underperforming. That's just going to go all the way down here. Wow. I mean, they all have the same problems: social, geopolitical, macroeconomic, monetary. It's all the same. It's in lockstep. So that'll do for the markets. Just horrible, bearish, close at low of day. Plus, it's a weekly close, right? I never check my weekly candles, but it's just even worse. You can imagine what the weekly candle looks like. It's just close at the end of at the low of the candle. FTSE, look at that. It's the DAX and the CAC, though, the German and the French market. And by the way, let's look at the S&P on the week. Look at that huge engulfing bearish. That is just resistance here. We need to go lower. Dow Jones, I mean, it's just the fact that it closed at low of day. Look at that. That's absolutely guaranteed lower, new lows in the bear market coming. New lows in the bear market coming for the Russell, and therefore it'll be very easy for the banks to go to test their lows, and they'll just, you know, they'll go there, bounce a little bit, and then make new lows. So there you go. Very simple. And why complicate something if it's simple? It's going lower.